Good afternoon, class. This is assessment in Learning 2 or alternative assessment. And so we would go now to our lecture on portfolio assessment. So actually, this is our lesson 5 for our course. And portfolio assessment is a purposeful, ongoing, dynamic, and collaborative process of gathering multiple indicators of the student's growth and development in a course or program of study. And we have three principles for a portfolio if you will be doing it. The first principle is the content because the portfolio must show the subject matter important for students to learn, which means if you will do a portfolio, it's good to have good contents also inside the portfolio. Either it is an e-portfolio or it's just, how do you call it? It's just a folder, okay? You should show the lessons or the important lessons that we tackle. The second principle of portfolio is learning. And in that learning, you must show that you have been active and you have been thoughtful learners, which means you will show them not only the lessons that we have, but also the things that you have done for those lessons. And then the equity principle, of course, the portfolio does not only show the contents or what you have done, but including your, how do you call it, your artistic capabilities to present something, okay? Maybe you can create their drawings or anything that can show your that the portfolio or the folder is very, very important to you. There are types of portfolios. We have the working portfolio, which is a collection of the students' day-to-day works, no, that reflect their learning. And there is also the show portfolio, which means it is a collection of students' best works. And documentary portfolio is a combination of the collection of your works and also your best works in the class or in a certain subject. How do you develop your portfolio? First of all, you should have a guide, no, or goals, and it's good that if teachers already articulated the goals of the course, and but you need to answer these goals for yourself. For example, the I is the student, no, participated in this activity because, okay, which means you want a portfolio because I'm doing this portfolio because, and what I target to accomplish are what. And in the portfolio development, you need to have you have to answer these questions or these ideas, no? My target goals, my target collections, my non-negotiable collections, my plan for organization, my style of reflection, because you need to reflect on what you have done, my own evaluation rubric, and then my plan for the exhibit. Once you already have the goals, then of course it's good that you collect, no? You start collecting all possible entries in your portfolio. And it's good that you have a temporary container, whether it is an e-portfolio or a folder, that later on you will organize into a very neat presentation or show. And then when you collect, after you collect, of course you should select the best, no? And the priority would be those works that gauge your success, no? And the selection usually depends on what the teacher require you to do, but you can also personally choose what is important to you because there are a lot of ideas in the internet or somewhere else that you can include in your portfolio or in your physical portfolio. And then you need to organize your portfolio depending on your style. And I would give you, or if you will be the one to do your portfolio, I would give you chance how to develop it, no? And to organize it. And reflection is a very, very important part of the portfolio. Why the subject is important to you, why a certain topic, why a certain act or work is very important to you. And then evaluate at the end of the portfolio development, no, you're selected. You can have your own rubrics. I can have my own rubrics so that you can develop or you can gauge or evaluate what you have done. And then it's good also to have discussions on whether the portfolio itself contains all the important knowledges and competencies that you need to learn. And the last would be the exhibition to celebrate your success. And we can have student portfolios for exhibits. Why portfolio assessment? According to Burke, he gave some reasons. Number one, it tests what is really happening in the course of study. Because in a weekly basis, you will include their topics, your own work, your own reflection. So it shows what happens as we go on with a certain course. It offers multiple indicators of students' progress. Not only the topics are there, which we can assume that you understand it, but also some works that you have done and some reflection. It gives the students the responsibility for your own learning. Of course, you can always ask the teacher for, how do you call it, for handouts, for notes, but it's good to have your own notes, di ba? And to be the one to print that and maybe to add something onto it, no? You can browse in the internet and maybe say that you find a better lecture than the lecture of your teacher. It offers opportunities also for students to document your reflections. It demonstrates what the students know in ways that encompass their personal learning styles, no? Since education and since teachers are only facilitators, you can learn many things in one subject which the teacher may not really taught it. And then it offers teachers new role in the assessment process. We'll just look at what you have done, on what you have collected, and then we'll just look at it and say, oh, it's a very good portfolio. It's a very good folder of what you know and what you have done for the course. And then it allows teachers to reflect on the effectiveness of our instruction because we will see whether your portfolio has some good contents or not, no? Or whether our lecture are no good actually. And then it provides teachers freedom of gaining insights into the students' development. As you grow in your collection, selection of contents to be included in your folder or e-portfolio, we can say, or maybe he's learning, he has this on file, on his file. Now, I would like you to answer the assignment, no? Actually, the first thing that you should have is this identified competencies for our AL2. And I already answered number one question for you. The first thing that you should learn from this course is that how to define, how to create, how to write the instructional outcome, no, that you want to assess. And normally we will look at that as a learning targets. No, we call it learning targets. And then to distinguish also between outcomes that can be assessed alternatively or maybe can assess objectively. And then to create or identify performance tasks. We do not really create in this course, no, because I show you the depth ed suggested performance tasks, both the performance and both the, how do you call it, the product. But of course, in the affective domain, you should be the one to maybe create your own performance task for that. No, decide what kinds of teacher guidance. When you do some performance tasks, it is very important that you give, how do you call it, instructions or directions so that you have your guidance, but also you're giving freedom to your students, no, on how to do the task. And then you should have created the assessment and make revisions. The thing I think that you must do is question number two. Okay, write the significant evidences to show you were able to attain the competencies for this assessment course. What I want is that you think what kind of evidence, no, I would be able to show that I really learned from this course. Okay. Um, this is, I think, the template that you should fill up. The competences required for AL2 are as follows. Number one, you can create learning targets. Okay. Number two, you can distinguish outcomes fit for alternative assessment. And what are those? They are the performance uh, performance task, whether a product or performance task, no? How do you call it? Process or product. And then affective, it is also good to do alternative assessment for effective things, no, or learning. And then create or identify performance tasks or activities. And then if you can do that, that it's a good evidence that you learn. And then you can write teacher guidance on the performance tasks or activities, and then can create and revise alternative assessment tools. Okay, we have the performance assessment tools, we have the effective assessment tools, and now we have the portfolio assessment. So what I want you to do is to write the significant evidences that you can have, no? For me, it's the thing that I want you to know about AL2, okay? AL2. But you should be the one to choose what kind of evidences, though you have not yet done it, but can create, what evidence can you say that you already know how to create learning targets? That is all for now, and thank you for listening. God bless you all.